welcome to the Porch broadcast. We're going to do a little video on something it's not just super important, but then on the other hand, it may be important. But we're going to do a video on it anyway. And it's going to have to do with the little things you say to people that may actually change their life forever. So I'm going to start this out with a story. Back when I was just a kid, I'm going to say I was 7, maybe 8 years old. I don't remember for sure. But I went to school, a little country school. I say a little country school. It really wasn't. It's actually a fairly sizable school, believe it or not. But it's out on top of a mountain. And it was so far back that they didn't even have running water in that school. They had outhouses. If you had to go to the restroom, you had to go to an outhouse to go to the bathroom. And I say all that just to kind of paint the picture for you of how far back that's been and kind of what the culture was back in those days. But back in those days, religion wasn't a bad word. Christianity wasn't a bad word, and Jesus wasn't a bad name. It's kind of odd that today it's offensive to so many people. But I said that to get to the rest of the story. There was a little old lady that came by once a week, and she'd come driving up in her old car, and it didn't look like it was in real good shape, best I remember. And she would get out and teeter around there and get her little blackboard or felt board and easel and all that and bring it into her classroom. And she'd teach Bible stories out of it, just Bible stories for kids. Now, that lady must have been 75, 80 years old. I don't know, but she was old. She didn't get around real good. Nobody paid her to come and do this. She just did this because she thought it was the right thing for her to do. And it was. And why I remember that is two things. One of the things is I didn't have to do classwork when she was there. I just listened to stories, and as a kid, that was kind of fun. And the other thing is that she said something that changed my life. I'm not going to say what she said because it was personal. It probably wouldn't change your life. And then again, it might. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to keep it to myself. I just want to talk about the fact that she said something that changed my life. When she said it, I really don't quite understand that, but what she said just resonated with me. And I mean, to this very day, I use that as a part of the decision-making processes of my life and have for years and years and years. Well, for 60 years. So anyway, she wasn't a celebrity. Nobody recognized her. I doubt very seriously if anybody even remembers her now, except maybe some of her family, but it's been so far back. But she was just doing the right thing, and she changed the little kid's life, mine. And this is important for us to know. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell another story because it's worth telling. Kind of helps, drive in the message here this morning. About the same age that I was at that time, but I was going to a little different school, so there might have been a year or two difference in my age. But anyway, they brought a police officer in there just to talk to the kids, and I was so intrigued with this guy, his uniform. He looked piffy, and back in those days they dressed good and all that. And I just thought it was something to get to hear a police officer talk. And he was just talking about self-defense and a few of the things that police officers go through, acquainting us kids with who they were. But he said something that day, and it resonated with me. It was a life changer for me. Now, I'm 69 years old right now, and what he said I still use today. I've used it for years. And it had to do with defense training. But long and short of it was, I'll be using it here in a few weeks because I'm going to be training a security team, and I do that every once in a while. And I still use that little bit of information that he gave me that day that resonated with me. Now, his name was Dale Gifford, I doubt that he had any idea that 60 years later, some old man would be on social media and mention his name, because he had that kind of an impact on my life, and I remembered his name because of that. Well, you never know, do you? Isn't it amazing? The little things in life sometimes we do, and we don't really understand that we're changing maybe some little kid's life. I guess the whole point of this thing is, just think about it. You're a life changer. The things you do and say can affect a person or a little kid for a long, long time. And we'll take it a step further. Sometimes even grown-ups, the co-workers you have around you, pay attention to them. They may be hurting. They may just need a friend to sit down and maybe drink a Pepsi with them and listen to them talk about their problems. We're life changers, guys. When we don't try to make ourselves the center of everything, sometimes that's when we do our best work. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up this morning, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. We love you, and may God bless.